How are you guys doing? Hello and welcome. My name is Dr. Chidi. I'm reaching you guys from Toronto, Canada. I hope wherever you are listening to us and watching us. Oh, yeah, I see you watching us from Germany. I see you watching us from Lagos. I see you guys watching us from all over the world. It's a great time to be alive. I'm telling you. Good afternoon, Akin Aderox. Alabi Akikeolu, Okoye David, Esther Luyide, Entertainment. I see all of you. I'm telling you, this is the time that the action is about to start. People who are consistent, difficult thing to be consistent, but if you study people who are consistent, you see that they are always consistent. Arthur Obinwa Amadi, I see you. And our consistency is beginning to pay off gradually, gradually, gradually. We don't they get into the main juice of the matter. I'm telling you, the main juice of the matter, that's where we are getting into. And it is getting more and more exciting. Did you guys see what happened that Bola Tinubu has been chosen and has been rigged in as the presidential flag bearer of the APC? See, these guys, they have finally institutionalized rigging corruption in Nigeria. And now it is very, very clear. Very, 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 very clear. I like the way it is going. Very predictable. Now you see clearly who is being chosen from amongst the party. You see clearly now that P2B is in the Labour Party. But we already told you people, like I told you long ago, it's not because I'm an Igbo man. It's just because I am telling you the truth that P2B, fine, he has an opportunity to contest like every other person. I wish him well. But you don't win an election by jumping from one place to the other. Look, we tried it before. We know it doesn't work. And if it continues like that, it is going to harm him. So P2B coming out of Labour Party, when he was in PDP already, we said, this guy, if you really want to run on your own narrative of being pure and being corruption free, you can't do it sleeping in the same bed with these people. And people be already slept in the same bed with Atiku Abubakar. You see, all the money that you saw them throwing up and down, P2B was aware of it. If he had won, if Atiku had won the election, they would have won on that same foundation, and P2B never complained. P2B has jumped from one party to the other. I give this information freely, not for you to attack me, but for you to open your eyes, open your mind, and think, because we are in dire situation right now. We're in a situation where it is not joke anymore. We know what we're faced with. You're faced with a bullion van. You're faced with the people who stole the money. These are the people who stole the money. That's the people you're dealing with. So it's not time for people to be playing all these nice guy. No, this is not time for nice guy. There's no room for nice guy in Nigerian politics. And what's happening in Nigeria, there is no room for nice guy. A nice guy is not going to be heard. That's why we talk the way we talk. Look, people have said it. We can even said it. There is no room for nice guy. And that's why when you see me talking the way I'm talking about P2B, think I hate him. I don't hate him, but I'm trying to face reality. We've been in this trend for so long, okay? So, hold on, let me take this call. This person is waiting for you. We're actually live. We better find a way to log in. Yes, yes, yes. Okay, no problem. We are live. Anytime you join us, you join us. All right. Waiting for you. Bye bye. Yeah. So there's so much excitement. When we talk the way we talk, it's because of who we are. We've been in this trench. We've been in this jungle long enough to know what is obtainable. So this is not the time to just be. When you see us say AAC action, AAC action, action, no going back. That's what we are. We've always been for action. We dissect the situation and we tell you this is the way to go forward ever. We don't have time to be dilly-dallying, go and look inside this party. I don't like them. Go and look inside the other party. I don't like. Wait, so even the Labour Party itself has been bought over. What did we say? You see, you people, we predict so many things. Labour Party has gone and announced a presidential candidate. Who do you think is doing that? Who do you think is doing that? You have to hang with people that you can't buy with money. You cannot buy AAC with money. You saw it. You can't push us around. We would have gone to find another party. Our presidential aspirant, Omoyele Sowore, and any other person who's interested, I don't know. The ones I know are the ones that I support. But Omoyele Sowore would have gone to look for another party. But we didn't give him. We stuck to what we believed in, and we fought hard like the real fighters we are, and we got our party back, and that's why we are where we are today. Okay, so this is time for action. So you see Peter Obi there. Okay, make it a watch. We'll keep predicting, and you keep seeing what's happening. I'm going to be bringing in people from time to time who will join us to talk about what happened today. Also, we know that Bola Ahmed Tinubu finally, not when people were saying breaking news, I'm like, why do you want, you don't understand. This kind of news is boring. We already knew. Chidi, we told you, go and play all the videos that we told you. Did we not tell you that Tinubu will come out of APC? We told you, we know. We already know the script. I don't know what you want us to come and be doing this game with you. We don't have time for these games. That's why you see us behave the way we behave. We don't have time for these games, okay? So please understand, we don't have time for such games. So Tinubu is now out of APC. I have someone who has joined me. I'm going to bring him in soon. Other people will also join. So Tinubu came out of APC. You guys saw the result. Atiku Abubakar was already came out of PDP. And what we are waiting for now, after tomorrow, we will know who the solution is. Somebody said, remove Messiah and put solution. I said, okay, no problem. Messiah stands for solution. But after the AAC convention tomorrow, you guys will, all my eye go clear. And we will now, you see, we're waiting for all of them to finish their shenanigans. We know what is happening. We already know what's happening. Let me bring in someone who is already signed in. Babs, I'm going to add you in. How are you, my brother?
I'm fine, thank you.
Good. So what are you feeling? Talk to me. With everything that's happening, what you saw today, Bullion Van won. So what do you think?
Well, I know that they are going to try their possible best to bring us down, but I believe that AAC is on the right track.
Sure.
There's no smoke without fire, as they always say, and we will surely get there by God's grace. It's all we want. I want to come back home, to my father's land.
But tell me, how does it make you feel seeing that these guys are sharing money openly? It's no in the past people will kind of hide. Now this whole primaries is all about how much dollars was, and these are the same people that stole our money. How does it make you feel seeing them flound this money openly?
It is. I don't even know the words to say towards it. It's unbelievable. Because we used to remember, they'll say under the table. But this one now is over the table now. Everybody can see. Yes. Just to let you know how bad it is.
Yes.
And if we do not find a way of putting all these people away, they will just keep on corrupting and trying to hand over to the next generation, like their relatives and stuff like that, with that same that same mindset of corruption, which should be bad. I've been hearing bribery and corruption right from my from even before I even became a teenager, not understanding what it is
Mm.
until I started growing up and everything. It's been long in Nigeria with this bribery and corruption. Now we've added fraud to it. It is very, very bad, and it saddens me.
You know,
It saddens me.
my kids, they listen to the news, they hear me talk about this, and they're asking me, Daddy, what is this thing? Why are they carrying dollars? I was full of shame because you try to give them something positive about their country, their roots, where they're coming from. But when they now watch the news, because they're on the internet, they see what's happening. They say,
Yeah,
why, Daddy, why do they have to do this? I feel so ashamed trying to explain to them what is going on. It's so shameful.
it is. It is so shameful. My kids have never seen Nigeria before
Can you
because it's
imagine?
more like saying you bring them into Nigeria and they just see how everything is. It's they would not understand. They would not understand. And I'm hoping that they can see how it is and see how it can be.
You see,
That there's always a difference that we can make in Nigeria.
you hit me there when you say see what it is and see what it can be. I'm telling you, if this generation allows this set of people like Tinubu, people like Atiku, to be the ones writing our history for us, we would have, we would just carry out, we would have used by our hand, put a noose around our neck and just commit suicide. Because what they are saying, what they are telling people is that you can just wake up and use money and buy everybody. That's what they are trying to say. You can buy everybody across board. Look at, do you know from what you saw now, they bought up, they started doing this right from when they were choosing the candidates. They bribed their way right from when the candidates were being chosen in their wards. That's where they started. So they bought up everything and everybody. When you just look at those results, but it's good. It's good for all of them. I don't pity them. I don't pity Osibanjo. I don't pity Amechi. I don't pity all of them. I don't pity them. Now them they do by themselves. But it is very clear. I like the way it's happening because now it is clear who is against who. After tomorrow's primary, when we bring out our own presidential candidate, then it will be as clear
Yes, it will be as clear as daylight.
as clear as daylight. Now I like it. I like it because if you have to compare things that are very similar, it's difficult for you. But when you're comparing black and white, it is so clear. It is so clear. It's not ambiguous. You can say this is the bad and this is good. Even a 2-year-old, it will be easy for you to explain to them this bad, this good.
Yes.
that's that's what we're expecting. But
It will
what
be
do
a
you
great it will be a great shame for them. It will be a great shame. And what they don't even understand right now is that they're doing all this. They're showing the world how bad they are because they believe that they're showing the world how good they are. But no, they're just showing the world how bad it is. When judgment falls on all of them,
oh
there are
yeah.
videos, there are all sorts of things that they've already put out there that is going to contradict them, that will probably even put them in jail when everything is now set on a playing field that everybody can see that you are fully corrupt,
my
and
my
there's no way they can go back and say, oh, we didn't do this, we didn't do that, because they've been showing themselves, and they feel, how can you show yourself that much, that the evil that you do, the corruption, the bribery, the fraud, and you think that is good? How can you feel that that's a good thing you're doing when it will still come back and bite you in the back?
what beats me is that people see all of these things. A lot of information has been put out there about all of these people, and yet people will still You see, that's why it's difficult for me to preach this thing of collect their money and go and vote for the person you like, because you see all these people that collected money, they still came there and they voted for Tinubu.
Yes.
You see that they collected the money, because I tell people in Nigeria, people are very religious and they are fetish at the same time. When they collect your money, they are afraid that, make the no call go chop and die. Okay, so they go, they take your money, and they still go and vote for the person. They will say, oh boy, this one where I chop this money, make I no call go die inside. Let me just go and vote for this person. So that's where it is dangerous. I have
Yes.
um I have Citizen Bola and the house.
Oh,
Citizen
are
Bola.
you? Welcome, welcome, citizens. It's been a
How are
while.
you? Yes, it's been
Well,
a while. What's happening?
it has been a while, but we've just been going. So how
So
is everybody?
everybody's good. Everybody's good. Tell me how you feel
We,
about the result.
we've seen the news. We've
Yeah.
seen it. As you said, it was expected.
Yes.
The issue is that these people, we'll give them a good name. These people have
Mm,
an organization.
okay.
We too must organize ourselves because
Yeah.
it's easy to speak about that. Yeah, they are very, very, very corrupt, but they are organized corruption. As I
Mm,
call it, a continuous criminal enterprise that continues without the need for them to even do anything. They just continue. So we need to be in a position and look at what it takes for us to be in that position whereby we are organized, as in the sense you saw more than, I'd say, between 3,000 and 5,000 people attend a conference where they went to share money
so,
that came from all across Nigeria just to share money.
mhm,
These are citizens who have rights, who
mhm,
they've sold their rights. So
mm.
we have to counterbalance that. We have to go against that. So we know what kind of organization we need to put in place in order to put that to bed, in order to put that to an end. Because you've
Bola,
seen
there's
people.
something that somebody says here, and that's close to what you're saying. Someone says, Dr. Chidi, the matter on ground needs to be handled with care. And this job is in the hands of the mainstream media and bloggers. If not, I have a feeling that these people have set us against each other. See, these guys, someone says hunger is a weapon. These guys, they know what they're doing. They are playing this game perfectly well, because for you to see the same people that Bola Ahmed Tinubu during NSAS says, why don't you just finish this thing, quench this uprising by all means, and then people were shot and killed. And for you to see the same people now even trying to choose between the devil and the deep blue sea, it's amazing. So there is something these guys are doing, and just like you're saying, if we do not organize ourselves seriously, we will stand and see them take over this country in 2023. I'm telling you. Now, Babs, what do you think the young people should do?
Well, they need to stand up. They need to stand up and fight.
But
They
how do
need
they fight?
to they need to keep on, making noise. They have to just keep on. They can't stop because you stopping, you feel defeated.
Mhm,
I've been thinking about how elections have been run in Nigeria,
mhm.
even from when I was a child and everything. And it's got to be run differently because of the voters' fraud is still there. Saying that if everybody had to, because you see where people are trying to vote, and then you see the thugs coming in to come and take the ballot box and kill people and doing all that. If they can do it electronically, don't stay in your house and vote.
But they can't vote.
You're,
But they know that. Listen, They know if you vote electronically without coming out, the other candidates will win. These ones will lose. They know if you allow diaspora voting, they will lose. So they only adopt those methods that gives them an upper hand. And right now, as we have it, I'm telling you people, these guys, they stole our money. They sold all the companies to themselves. And now they are coming to use this same money that belongs to us to now use it against us, to buy all the votes, to control the media. Even the person talking about mainstream media, they are they're in control of the mainstream media. So what do we do? Honestly, I know that tomorrow, after the AAC primaries, I know a lot of things will change. But honestly, there's little that we can do as a party if the people are not willing. My problem is, what do we do with the people in Nigeria, the people inside Nigeria as it is constituted? Someone says, Chidi, Nigeria is not your roots. I know all that, but we have to deal with the Nigerian country before we begin to deal with other things that we have in mind. Biafra, Oduduwa, Arewa, every other thing. We know we've lost our identity. We know the British has messed us up. They've got us into this unholy marriage that we're in. But how do we deal with the Nigeria right now? The Nigeria that has Tinubu coming out to run for election. The Nigeria that has Atiku coming out to run for election. The Nigeria that has P2B moving from one party to the other party and jumping from frying pan into fire. I thought P2B just run into Labour Party, just wake up and run into a party, and you think everything will be okay. Do you understand? How do people think it works? You just go and they'll just accept you and just give you that exhausted seat. People who have been in the party for years, people who have sown into the party, spend their money, you think they'll be eyeing you one kind. And all it will take for them to come after you is for these other people, Tinubu and Atiku, to come inside and buy up these people. So,
You,
people, go ahead.
sorry, Citizen Chidi, you keep saying it's a party. They're not, when we look at it for what it really is, they're not parties. They're continuous criminal enterprises that have been
Okay,
rooted and
okay,
seeded in
okay.
every organization in that country. So you look, they're in the police, they're in the military, they're in the military intelligence, they're in local and national state governance, they're in the diplomatic services. They have their links and tentacles everywhere. So what we're up against is like in New York, they have a mafia. The
Hmm.
people have to fight. They have to be ready to fight. Now, where it seems as though people, and I can understand this, there is a certain fear in people because
Hmm.
they see it as too big for them to confront. So they're ready to just accept, to take what little they can take and go and sit in their houses or go and relax wherever they be and just say, well, there's very little I can do. So we need to show the vision that we have and understand these people who organize what we saw today, they didn't come about yesterday. They've been in it for a number of decades now, and they've been
Yes.
getting increasingly more powerful financially. But they started, as anybody else started, with a few in number against a mammoth force, which was the military. And they saw the vision of what they saw was one for self-aggrandizement. So we realize that as the AAC is looking for the empowerment of the citizens, that in itself means that some citizens who have been bought and paid for will too fight you. So the issue is, we know it will take some time. We know that it will take some time for us to build, but that's the fight which we've agreed upon. That's the journey that we're on. We have to take those steps as slow as it takes or as long as it takes in order to get to our destination. Just like when Nadeco did what they did in 1990s, we're in 2022. Many of those people were in Nadeco with lofty ambitions. Look at what it's turned to. So we have to understand it will take some time, but we are prepared, those of us who are older and those of us who are younger, to take that struggle forward for as long as it takes.
But I'm talking about 2023. Should we just give up? Are we trying to say there's no more hope for 2023?
What I understand through I always reference Citizen Juwan because he's a person who always gives a proper viewpoint. He says what we're doing is we're showing the people there is an alternative. What we're doing is we're spreading the message as an alternative, so people cannot reach backwards in the future and say there was no alternative. We've shown there is an alternative. It's for the citizens to decide that they wish to select that alternative. You can only bring somebody to the table, but you can't force them to eat your food. You can show them this is what it is that you can eat. This is what we're offering, but let it not be said that there was no alternative.
Well, you know what? As soon as you even mentioned Citizen Juwan, he actually signed in. I know he's he's trying to. I don't know if he can have his video on, but Citizen Juwan, if your audio can come on, okay. I see you're in a vehicle, but if you can come on, or maybe you want us to give you time.
Yeah, don't worry. My audio is on.
Okay,
Can
can
you
you
hear
talk
me?
now?
My audio is
Yes,
on.
we can hear you. Can hear you. So we just mentioned your name, and as if
Yeah,
you're
I
in
can
the
tell.
spirit, and you just came on. So tell us what you think. Should we give
Yeah.
up for 2023, or is there hope? Because the way these guys are moving, they are buying up everything with money. Have the souls of young people and the old and everybody, have all their souls been bought up by these people with bullion vans?
Uh, well, I do not think whatever is happening now is really not a call to give up, because when we all stepped into it, we knew it wasn't going to be easy. There is this theoretician. He made a claim that if the ruling class are convinced that elections is capable of turning the system, then they will outlaw an election. So, but however, we run a system like Dile Farotime used to say, that so long as we run a system that always pretends to run a democracy, at the very least we can do as change-seeking element is to also exploit the same system. As for instance, look at the NSAS. I would use that as a perfect scenario. During the NSAS, in an attempt to do a cover-up, the federal government created a panel that after they killed people in Lekki, they were the same person who established the panel. And the essence with which they established this panel is towards the end of burying the whole murder. In fact, they were the ones who selected every member of the panel. So, but at that period, there were indeed arguments that well, the Nigerian state cannot be they cannot be the accused and at the same time be the person who are setting up machineries to look into investigation of a crime they committed. There were those arguments which no doubt were legitimate. I advanced that argument equally. But there are also other arguments that continued to advance that look, if we make it easy for them to do the cover up. So the least we can do is number one, use a two approach method, because practically speaking, the revolutionary path is not narrow. It's not a narrow road. There are diverse ways to get to Ikeja. Many ways to enter Canada. You can decide to enter Canada through the US, through Germany, through Australia, through different ports. So, but so long as you have the destination in mind, so we can. So what position did we take after that? We decided to use the dual method, intervening in the panel and at the same time intervening in the panel to approach, and at the same time launching political attacks against the panel. You understand? Delegitimizing the Nigerian state and its capacity to set up a panel for a crime it committed. All of this culminated together to put pressure on the persons who are on the panel, and eventually they have to deliver a verdict that indicted the government and put them together because they had no choice. And this is these arguments we are having now, it is not happening for the first time. in 1998, I was not there, but we learned through history that activists of those periods, like of Gani Fawemi, a lot of them during that was the military regime. They had a meeting and they discussed that okay, look, the military had called for an election, right? What should be our approach to this election? And there's a reason I'm also laying this premise there's a reason I'm laying this premise of the 90s. And because I'm laying this premise because history they say occurs in two ways. First as a tragedy and then as a fact. So we are so what why am I saying this? Because we have been at this point before. This stage we are in is not new. We have been at a point where we have a ruling class that have designed a system targeted at only profiting them. And then we are left with an option of what exactly are we to do. In the military regime, this was exactly the same spot we were. And people eventually, and activists of those periods, they said that, look, we can't, the overwhelming resolution they took was not to participate in that election. That was their resolution, that rather let them abandon that election because the outcome of the election has been decided from the beginning, and that the military had no right to set up an election. They were legitimate grounds, but it does not. It does not also mean that that position was correct. And what happened now? 20 years after.
Joan, listen. So what you're saying in effect is that we should pursue the political strategy, but also back it up with some other strategy. What is that other strategy? Because this political strategy, we're going to be there, but these guys, they're pushing so much money. Someone just said here now that they have a pattern of selling themselves, and we are still unavailable to close the pathway because it is well guarded. Another person says that the people need direction. We should stop listing our challenges, but we should strategically, how did you say it? We need to stop listing our challenges to progress, but strategically list all the strategies to catch them in their game. That the people need direction, the people need what to do, because I'm telling you, people woke up to this announcement that Tinubu won, and they are depressed. They woke up to the fact that Atiku won, and they are depressed. And now, these are the same people that they are looking for these are the same people that did sit at home, the correct sit at home, and the government couldn't do anything about it. These are the same people that did NSAS movement. So there is the power of the people. They have enormous power, but how do we get them mobilized? I think the DG was here a little bit. By the time he comes back, I'll ask him the plans that they have. But let me ask some of us. Yeah, go ahead.
I would say that we have to sell our vision. That's what people are looking for. People, as Citizen Cash King said, people are looking for.
Okay,
they're not looking for the problems. They're looking for your solutions. What is it that we intend to do? How is it that we intend to do it? When do we intend to start it? What are our progress plans? This last election is something that we need to be pushing out. The vision of how we see that territory, which is now called Nigeria, whether we agree with it or we don't, as into what vision do we have of it going forward? That's what we need to be putting out to people, because everybody is aware of the problems. And if we keep going on about the problems, they would just think, as many people already do. And I've heard it numerous times, that somehow they're not confident that they can see our vision. So we have to put that effort into putting across our vision to reach as many people as we can. We're not saying we're going to reach everybody, but we will reach as many people as we can, and those people will reach other people. And as I said earlier, it's a very long road. So where we say 2023, as long as we do our best, as long as we put our effort into it and reach as many people as we can, well, we leave the rest to what the citizens decide, because again, it is the decision of the citizens. Because if they want tomorrow this madness that is now called Nigeria, and I call it that because it is madness. 50 people were more than, in fact, 109 people at last count were murdered in a church, including many children. And people are talking about who won the APC election, which 2,000 people decided. More, if 109 people were to have been murdered in a church in any other place, there would be no politics going on in any time in this week. So we have to question.
You're talking about 109 people. If 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 one person was even murdered, you would see it affect the program. Even if they don't cancel it, you will see that there's some reaction, serious reaction to it, and they would show that something happened. The whole nation would be in mourning. But now you don't even get to know all the people that get murdered. People just get murdered in their hundreds. Now let me go back to Babs. I know you have your just thinking very, very far. What should the diaspora do? What should the people in the diaspora do? Do they have any power? Can they influence anything? Oh no, your mic is off. Sorry.
Yeah, we should be able to do something. It's as we say, there's corruption everywhere. There's just too much corruption everywhere in the world. The corruption I'm in the UK. The corruption here is like, even though we say we want to try and count our votes, send it down to the parliament, let them try and do something, they're all part of it. I was shocked yesterday when at the parliament there was some speech given about the killings in Ondo State. I watched about 40 to 41 minutes of it, and I was happy that at least they were saying something about it, but they're not there physically to see or watching videos. Some of them it's too gory, they can't watch. All is just big English. It was this, it was that, and it's bad. But if I would say we need outside help.
Oh, is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, I would say we need. Yeah, I would say we need outside help.
From who?
Because the people in this country.
From who? From when you say outside help, is it from the citizens who are in the diaspora, or you need outside help from Britain, for instance?
From Britain, for instance.
Britain will come and help you in Nigeria. I'd say let them stay far away.
I've got to come in there, citizen. I've got to.
Please do. It is what I wish, but I know very well that they will not even lift a finger.
I've got to come in there, citizen. Where you say Britain, the same Britain that sold the tear gas that they use on the streets in Nigeria every day. That Britain. The one who trained the killers who killed the people at Lekki. That same Britain. The one who takes the oil and the gas. That Britain. Let's be honest.
This is why I first said that there's corruption everywhere.
No, not Britain. Yeah. The same Britain that looked at IPOB and said, "Oh, they are now a terrorist group," and then came back and said, "No, they are not a terrorist group." The same Britain through BBC that is just twisting, getting involved into the nitty-gritty of Nigerian politics. That they're even calling a blogger. They descended so low to be sparring, throwing punches with a local blogger. That same
with
Britain,
blogger.
With blogger.
That Britain.
Blogger.
The blogger. That's it. Made a full series, a full half-hour segment on national BBC World Service to be sent around the world, but yet would not condemn the extraordinary rendition of a British citizen. That same Britain.
The same Britain that said, okay, it was IPOB ESN that killed this, and later on, when they now confess, the people that didn't confess, they didn't come back to do another program. I don't want them near Nigerian politics at all. Like, I'm even more comfortable with seeing America do anything than Britain. Britain that up to today, since Nigeria is a business company for them, they still have their fingers inside Nigeria. So please, that is a no-go area.
There was a clip that came up. I think I saw the clip about 2 weeks ago or so.
Yeah.
Where they were holding some sort of protest, but there was a meeting in there, where they say they have to stop with the African countries what Britain is doing. And that's a good start
Well,
because that comes into light. That's not something you see every day, that they
Juwon,
need to stop. They need
yeah,
to stop putting us in debt.
well, you see, until you have a good leader, it's only the good leader that can turn these things around, a brave leader. Because right now, I think what we need is someone who is brave. I wish Comrade Juwon can come back, because let's talk about solutions. Solutions. We have
Yeah,
someone
I'm
like,
on the show. I'm
okay,
still
good.
on here.
Good, 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 good. So tomorrow, tell us about the AAC convention that is coming up tomorrow. We have seen all the other people's convention, the people that really matter as far as I'm concerned. We've seen what they were able to concoct through the Labour Party, and we're not even sure of P2B and the Labour Party. We've just seen what APC finally produced in Bola Ahmed Tinubu. We see that Atiku has balanced in his chair in PDP. And now what everybody's waiting for is what will be the outcome of the AAC primaries that is taking place tomorrow. So tell us about these primaries and what to expect.
Well, uh, let me say first, it's just so sad that we find ourselves in this situation where thieves who really should be in jail, ex convicts, people who have been convicted from other countries, now jostling for Nigeria's presidency. It's just rather very sad. Uh, what Nigerians now have to hope for is what is going to be happening tomorrow at the African Action Committee. And that is the political party that dares to say it is a revolutionary party that had practically come to put up an alternative to the system we run now, and that is the system that is dollarized, a system of power and greed. And it is such system that the likes of the APC, PDP, and their appendages, that's exactly what they represent. So, and I'm sure probably you must have been seeing the flyers everywhere. The primaries is taking place in Abuja to elect the presidential candidates amongst the aspirants, including members of the National Assembly. We have seen how the primaries went across all of the states. It is on some of our social media, and so for tomorrow is going to be happening in Abuja. And let me say, these primaries, there's no sharing of dollars. They are not. In fact, I don't think anybody is going to share kobo. So this is a primaries that intends to produce a credible alternative, the long-awaited alternative. But I must also add, and I really intend to put in the words of Fidel Castro. He made a very resounding statement. He said there are no liberators anywhere.
Nigeria seems to have happened to Citizen Juwon. Sorry, your mic is off, Citizen Chidi.
It's trying to happen to me in Canada. Sorry, Nigeria was happening to me in Canada. somebody, somebody says because I'm talking about Nigeria, he left the show. I'm telling you, Nigeria has it leaves a sour taste in your mouth. Go ahead, Juwan. We have you back.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yeah, we know Nigeria happened to you. Citizen Bola said Nigeria happened to you.
Hello?
Yeah, so they said Nigeria happened to you. But go ahead, we can hear you.
Hello?
Yes, Citizen, we can hear you. We can
Okay.
hear you.
Is gone again.
Oh yes, it's gone again.
He's-
So
what you said what you said earlier is we need a brave
Yeah,
leader.
can anybody hear me? No,
Yes, we
We
can
can
hear
hear,
you.
I can't seem to hear anything. Maybe I need to go out.
You can go out and come back.
yes, citizen. You said you need we need a brave leader. We
Yes.
equally need brave citizens. We need people who are
Go ahead.
we need people who are willing to stand up and be counted. We need people who are ready to, as our phrase is, take back their country. Because without that, you're looking for somebody who's going to do it on your behalf, and that's not the way it goes. You need somebody who's going to be amongst the people, with the people, and the people must be with them. It's not an individual effort. It is many coming together to make a force which will bring about change. As I was saying earlier, if the people decided today, things will change tomorrow.
But
That's
the
as
problem
quickly
is,
as
how do you get the people? It takes a brave leader to be able to influence the people into bravery, convince them to become brave. It takes a brave leader. Don't you think so?
I think we have seen many brave leaders before. I think we have a brave leader as it stands. I think we have many brave individuals, but the willingness.
Hold on, hold on, hold on. Brave leader in Nigeria.
Well, we look at many of the people who fought on behalf of AAC to get the party back. They're brave because they know they will be targeted. We
Oh,
know
you're
that they
talking
have.
about AAC. I thought you were talking about Nigeria as a nation.
Right, as a nation, we have many brave individuals, but what happens is their story is not carried. So what happens is most people believe that it's a very minority thing which is being done, rather than accepting that there are many, but they're just unaware of where they are and what is going on. So it just seems as though we're in a hopeless position, but that's not the case. The case is that we just need to keep shining our light, and many will be attracted to it. And from that, the numbers will grow, and from that number, many will be um, given the sense of empowerment to make change.
Can
What
I
it
ask you
is as
something?
it stands, yes.
Can I ask you something? Is it someone says we should just focus on what we can do for the people, our manifesto, our strategy, and not talk about these criminals who are parading themselves as candidates. Someone say we should forget about them. And some other people think, no, it is important to talk about them and expose what they're doing. What do you think?
I think it's better that we put forward a vision than to show what others have done, because the country already shows what the people who are there have done to it. We don't need to express that. People can see in the roads, in the healthcare, in the political system, in the way a simple thing as a journalist will not speak the truth because they've been paid. Somebody will talk all forms of nonsense because they've been paid. So the question is, if you just keep pushing your message, is for someone to see, because where do people get the truth from at this point in time in Nigeria? It's only social media. Anywhere else,
But
they're not telling you the number of people who are being
but
murdered. They're
but
not
Bola,
telling
but,
you.
but Bola, I kind of I want to disagree somehow. I'm telling you.
Yes,
Let me tell you why I disagree. If there's something I'm sharing on our screen right now. It's um, something I sent to Dr. Erica today. It says how Atiku Abubakar started the privatization that made most Nigerians jobless. Wicked people. You may think that our people remember, but sometimes they actually forget. I'm telling you the truth. They actually forget. And that's why I feel it is important that we remind our people from time to time. It is important we remind them of what these people have done. If I can copy this now and maybe put it in a place where we can all look at it bigger. You'll be very, very surprised. And these
Yes,
are
I have read it. I
you've
have
read
read
it,
it.
right? You've read it,
I have,
right? Okay.
yes.
I think in as much as we want to put up our strategies, our manifesto, just like you have said, I think people know what they want. You don't need to come and tell a hungry person, hold on, let me put this machine, let me analyze it and see whether you are hungry. They already know that they are hungry. But I think it is important that as they are trying to make decisions, that you tell them things to help them make this decision. And that is where it is me, I believe it is important that we take people back and make them see who these people are. A lot of them were not even born. Do you know it's that bad? A lot of the people right now who are on social media, they were not even born by the time these people were in power, or by the time they committed the crimes that they committed. The people now were not born. So we need to continually tell them what these people did. I have what is written here is the one that Atiku did and the one that Tinubu did. Let me just take, let me just read through it. It says, to those who don't know how the current hardship and poverty in Nigeria started, take your time and read this. Then investigate the owners of the companies that robbed the country of these assets. Those are the devils you were warned about. You see, and this one says how Obasanjo at Atiku made Nigerians jobless. So for you young people who are listening right now, for you young people who are watching us, this is how they made you jobless. I'm gonna deal with this a little bit, Citizen Bola, if you don't mind. Let me just cut across this and let people see. It says Niger Dock. Niger Dock is the largest ship fabrication yard. Okay, largest ship fabrication yard. I know what I'm going to do, because maybe when we are reading this, it will help you also understand what I'm saying. But let me keep reading it. I'll paste it somewhere and I'll share it with you. But Niger Dock is the largest ship fabrication yard in West Africa sub-region. West Africa, we're not talking about in Nigeria. When it was sold, its ex-managing director, engineer Nkubri Okon, openly stated how Mr. Job Creator ignored the transport ministry then to open a bid for Niger Dock. They opened a bid for a nationally owned establishment without even being in touch, without contacting the people who are working there. Imagine that kind of a thing. This is the kind of government that you have. And who was the person at the head of all of this? You will clearly see Atiku's name there. Now, Atiku's preferred bidder, while they were bidding for this, the preferred bidder, Global Energy, that agreed to increase Niger Dock's workforce from 4,800 to 6,000 as part of privatization agreement, dismissed 2,200 immediately. Did you see that? They gave a company a job because this company agreed in their contract. The reason why they gave them a job is that they will increase the workforce from 4,800 to 6,000. Now, from 4,800 to 6,000, if you do the arithmetic, that will give you 1,200 new jobs. This is the basis upon which they were sold this establishment. But immediately they hired them, they sacked 2,200 people and they took ownership of the place. Now, Jagar Group that took over after Global Energy, they lost out on power play and they also sacked 1,400. So within the time they sold this Nigerian company, they lost 3,600 people. 3,600 people who were working in this place, they were sacked. There's Nigerian Post Authority, sorry. Nigerian Post Authority reform was poorly contrived to grab landed properties. 10,000 workers were sacked and 133 bids opened for NPA properties, consisting of 68 properties in Apapa, 28 houses in Ikoyi. The highest reserve bid was for a property in Ikoyi fixed at 390.4 million. Railway, Nigerian Railway. Did Atiku forget how 7,000 railway workers were sacked in 2005 without compensation to reduce its workforce to 6,300? Another 1,260 were fired in 2006 when Atiku and his headmaster were leaving in 2007. They left 5 billion in unpaid railway pension arrears. There's so many other things. The Federal Secretariat Ikoyi, there's the DLA, so many things that this, if I just keep rolling and rolling and rolling, so many things that these people just stole, literally stole. That's why you see people refer to them as thieves, because they have done us in. Okay, and these are the people that you are hoping to go. It says please project the screen as you read, sir. All right, all right. Oh, thank you so much, Black Africa, for sewing $10 into us. Can you imagine? You see how we do our own thing. Somebody is here appreciating what we're doing and sowing a seed. Thank you so much. These people are carrying dollars. I said my kids were watching and asking me what was going on. I couldn't even explain it to them. I couldn't explain what was going on to them. But that's Nigeria for you. So I'm gonna you want me to scroll, what I'm reading. Is a little bit in fine print here, but let me scroll it. I'll scroll it for you. I'll scroll it. I know what I'll do. Let me scroll it because it's very very important. Very 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 important that you guys see what I'm reading. Let's go back here and I will share it. Comrade Bola, okay, I lost you there. Please sign in much later so that we'll talk more about tomorrow. But let me share my screen and share. I'll put it on. I'll put it here. I'll put it document 2. Okay. I think that's the one. This one, yeah. Okay, so now people are able to see what I'm reading. So let me go back a little bit. Let me go back. It's a long read though, so if you're interested, you have to be ready. Okay, in fact, we're going to post it on our community page. You know, if you're not subscribed, you will not see our community page, but we're going to post it there. I'm going to summarize the heads. Nigerian Railway. Did Atiku forget 700 workers? Should we make this bigger? Let me pull this down and make it bigger so that let's make it bigger. I think you guys can see it much better now. Great. Atiku and his headmaster were living in, they left 5 billion. Federal Secretariat Ikoyi. In 2006, Babalakin's Resort Limited acquired these 15 stories prime assets overgrown with weeds from Atiku and OBJ through a development. You see, they acquired a 15-story prime asset for Atiku and Obasanjo through a development lease agreement for 7.2 billion. A court has asked Buhari to pay 54 billion to Babalakin for that blunder. 54 billion they paid back. Something that was 7.2 billion. Okay, the DLA stated October 10, 26 granted. The DLA dated that development lease agreement dated 10 October 2016. It granted Babalakin Resort Limited a 99 years lease to develop the Federal Secretariat complex that Obasanjo and Atiku had abandoned for 7 years into 480 luxury apartments. This was at the eve of their departure from government. The transaction was one for the road. They did this transaction just before leaving office. So when you see them sharing dollars, don't be killing your head. Don't be wondering. Don't be imagining how. How is it possible? Where did they get the money? Now you're seeing where they got the money. Let's just move forward. Let's not forget that Atiku was in charge of economy and Obasanjo gave him free hand until Galaxy backbone scandal happened. In 2002, after 3 years of the Obasanjo Atiku, manufacturing accounts for 6% of GDP. Nigeria's GDP fell by half for the first time in 20 years. This was the year all textile factories in Nigeria closed down and unemployment was 28% within the formal sector alone. I repeat, alone. I don't believe data about Nigeria. If you were to write now how many people are unemployed in Nigeria, do you know there are millions? Millions. I'm telling you, people just wake up in the morning and they are feeding from hand to mouth. They don't know what is going to happen the next day. They don't even know how they're going to get by that day. Life expectancy fell from 54 to 51 years. The fifth of every child below age 5 were malnourished. Malnourished in this country, 2002, and only 50% of the 125 million Nigerians, they had access to clean water. Factual reports on how Atiku supervised the sales of over 145 federal government investments as a vice president. You see, so many things. Like I said, we're going to post it and then you can read it in our community page. Okay. This last one, Atiku should tell us who bought what and what was left for the country when he left power. To who did Atiku sell the following companies? Who was the following companies sold to? NAFCON was sold, LMA Petrochemical was sold, Daily Times was sold, Ureli Power, Emin Power, Nikon Insurance, Alscon, Transcorp Hilton Hotel, Nixon Luxury Hotel, Sunti Sugar Limited, Netcom House, Basita Sugar Limited, MM2. These things were sold to the same individuals who are now oppressing you. Can you imagine? Anyway, I'm going to bring in my brother Babs for the last time, and we will. I just wanted you guys to know that we have a primary coming in tomorrow in Abuja, and at that primary, AAC will be able to nominate or elect our flag bearer for the AAC party. And after that, things are going to change. Do not be moved by all these things you're seeing, all these gymnastics. No, we are not impressed by them. We are not surprised. It's what we expected. We have just been, preparing ourselves for a time like this, warming up. And after tomorrow, you'll be glad. You see, you people should be happy that there's an alternative like AAC. Because if there was no alternative like AAC, imagine how it would have been. You just come and see the news and just, like right now, you can as well say, oh, they've won. But when you remember that there's a party like AAC, I don't want you to lose hope. I want you to wish us the best, monitor the elections tomorrow, and see how we do our own things. You should see how we do our own thing. Someone says, so the AAC must team up with P2B in the Labour Party. I don't understand why people keep saying this. Why don't you first of all ask us what experience we have working with other parties? We have never said we are not willing to form a coalition with any party. We have never said we are not willing to work with anybody. But you have to come, and we'll tell you the experience we had trying to do things that way. At the last election, Peter Obi was with Atiku Abubakar. That was his experience of the election. They got their hands soiled. So it's not you come and say because you're supporting Peter Obi, Shore should come and talk with Peter Obi. Peter Obi should come and talk with Shore. That's one thing I want you to know. Babs, I don't know if you have anything to say. Otherwise, I'm gonna be closing down the broadcast. Okay, so guys, that's where we're gonna end today. I just want you to go and help us tell people that the Messiah is coming. I'm not gonna say more than that. Let them know the Messiah is coming, and that very soon we shall all be happy. You know, whenever a country gets to where we have gotten to in Nigeria, I know what happens. The next thing, God Himself, and yes, you can say, Chidi, you're being too spiritual. God Himself just comes and does something to give the people hope. So I'm sure that after tomorrow, people will be happy because, like I said before, they'll be happy that there's an alternative and a very strong, brave alternative. Once they finally rise up to that acceptance, everything will change in Nigeria because that's what Nigeria needs: a hot-headed, tough nut to crack in a person. And I will not mention any names. After tomorrow, we'll know what will be, and then things will change. All right, from all of us here, my name is Dr. Chidi, on behalf of Dr. Erica. I'll see you guys in our next video, okay? We are monitoring this APC convention the whole night, and that's why my eyes are droopy, but we can't give up. We have to keep on going. All right, talk to you guys later, okay? Bye-bye.